Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the FRL Podcast. We're going to go straight to boring Chris, and he's going to talk us in. Oh, sorry, I said I wasn't going to say boring Chris with her.
Every single week. So, as ever, we have our special guest this evening. So, we're going to say a very warm welcome to Adam Scrace, also known as Lutch's Gaming. Hello, Lutches. How are we, sir?
Yeah, not bad at all.
Thanks for coming on the show this evening.
No worries.
As ever, as well, we have a few things that we're going to cover off tonight. So, there's some exciting clips to look at. A wee mixture of PC and PlayStation clips, so we're going to do a wee section on that as we kind of started doing that week on week. As always, any questions you've got, send me a DM or fire on the chat at the side, and we'll kind of discuss what you want to put on the panel. We'll also do our Alien of the Week. This week we're going to do again a PlayStation nominee and a PC nominee, and I think bucking the trend, our guest can maybe mention someone that's kind of stood out to them as well. So if you've got someone, Lutches, keep that to yourself just now. We'll talk about it later. If it's me, it's fine. I don't mind. Right? Okay, I don't mind that. Also, we'll go through some league standings as well. We've actually got a bit of update regarding some epic races that have happened on the PlayStation side. I'm unsure about the PC side. I think a lot of the seasons, Derek, I've kind of on a
Yes,
kind of break,
season-
kind of transition.
Seasons are on the break. They start, I think it's next week, might be the week after.
Right.
I will have a quick look. Why don't I just have a look instead of guessing? So we're looking at the 25th of... No. Sorry. Super Sprint starts on the 30th of August.
Right. Okay.
The rookie starts on the 1st of September and Pure Sim Gear on the 2nd of September. So
Excellent.
that
So
is
we've got some
2
good
weeks.
PC points to cover off this evening as well. And
That's 2
as
weeks away. We've
always,
got nothing on PC to cover off. We're on
I'm
holiday.
talking about the new up and coming leagues we can cover off.
That'll be next week. You got 2
And
weeks
then-
until it starts.
We also have our FRL Lotto, which has rolled over to £15 tonight, so we could have a lucky winner this evening. Any of the numbers between 1 and 999. If it lands on your number, it's £15 to you. So that we will cover off in about 25 minutes time. We always do that at 10:30. And as always, head on to our FormulaRacingLeague.com website if you need to for any information regarding standings yourself. Our merchandise, there's a whole load of different lovely beautiful things on there, so head over when you can, and if you need to send any emails, it's formularacingligue0@gmail.com. So that's the boring bit done, Dale, as you always so blatantly put it.
Move on to what's interesting now. Lurches, how you doing? So interested to have you on.
Yes.
And you're not fell asleep during Christopher's ranting and rolling.
I nearly fell asleep myself there, sorry.
It's important stuff that has to be said.
Yes, of course.
Doesn't mean we need to enjoy it though.
Well, so these are, we've got a couple of announcements to make tonight as well, Derek, haven't we? Regarding
Do we?
yourself.
No, what?
Yes.
Well,
You're going to be handing the reins over to someone just for a short while.
Yeah, you'll be the captain that goes down with the ship.
I won't. The ship will not go down. Trust me. The ship will not go down. I'll have support from James. I'll have support from Coops. We'll have our special guests. We are going to touch base tonight after this, just to kind of tie off a few bits and bobs. So we've got cover. We're fine. We're good. Honest.
I hope so.
Please believe in me.
So,
So
Lurchies, my friend.
Yes.
Let's get started with you. How about you?
get in the corner and get your giraffe.
Give us a wee idea of how you got into sim racing and how you found FRL. It's always the first question to everybody.
Yes.
Yes.
So
basically, it was all started with Formula One, 2020, and then that's when I went into James's Formula One.
right.
and then yeah, did that for about 6 months, and then I found out James was doing the ACC side, and I had the game, but I just couldn't drive on it. I was like, just felt really weird going from like
Right,
an
arcade game
arcade game,
to a
yeah,
simulating game.
and then to something that's like actually you need to like think about it, and
But
then yeah, and then since
Formula One's really, really fast, and
yeah, it's like when you actually play a simulator and then go back to it now, you think, oh, I wish I could just get a refund. Pretty much.
I think James just
Yeah.
went out and bought the 2022 version.
Yeah, I've got it, but it's alright, but it's nothing special. Yeah.
It's the cost of it. £60 seems a bit expensive.
Yeah.
That's,
And if you get it on PC and go on to like the files, they've still got AlphaTauri or the old AlphaTauri team, Toro Rosso, and stuff that's just a copy and paste. It's nothing fantastic.
dear
Yeah.
me.
See,
Another.
it's only been, well, since I've been with you guys, I've actually like done a proper like a simulator. If you know what I mean? Like,
So you, and
what
you
it
race
takes.
both on PC and PS, don't you?
Yeah, I reserve PS.
Yeah. And
Um,
drive on PC when it's not blistering hot outside.
yeah, if it just when it decides to work anyway.
so can we touch on the fact that you used to actually do a little bit of comms for us at one point? Is that correct? Am I correct
Yes.
in saying that?
Yes, we did. Me and King of the Hills did the GT4 Thursdays. I think it was
You did
Yeah.
indeed.
the 9
and
o'clock one or something like that.
It was,
It was
tier
very,
2, wasn't
very.
it?
It was fantastic. It was always great. The two of you
It
just
was.
bounced off each other brilliantly, and
I,
I think a lot of people miss that.
I personally
Yeah.
enjoyed it
Not
because
not
I got a lot of conversation in those videos.
Yeah, we was loving you, Dale. I think we was loving it at one point.
Dale was like a GT4 genius. Me
No.
and Checker, we play a lot of kind of sim racing with Dale, and we couldn't keep up with him because he seemed to take to the GT4 better.
Yeah,
than
and
the
he was the only
GT3.
one to drive. I think it's the Chevrolet, is it?
Yeah.
Chevy.
Yeah, I had
Yeah.
lots of trouble finding partners to go in the Chevy with me, but I managed it here and there. Usually people that came into the or GT4 Thursdays last minute and was actually placed in a team is usually who I'd end up with. But White Snake was quite good. That was my I was with him for 2 seasons
Yeah.
on GT3 and we
He's
done good.
not with us anymore, I don't think. White Snake or White Snack, I think his name's White Snack.
Is it White Snack?
I think so.
I think it was White
Oh,
Snack,
wow.
yeah, but he's not been with us for a while. Um, he was the two years, and that's when we used to pair guys up in our leagues, and they had to choose the same car.
Yes.
Now it's now you can choose whatever car you wish in that class, as long as your liveries kind of match up and your team name kind of all that kind of stuff, which works really well.
Mhm.
And I think a lot of the guys have started like some of the seasons just now in certain cars. They've not taken to that car 2 or 3 races in. They've maybe built up about between 60 to 80 points, and they've decided to change their car, which means their other teammate can stay in their car, but their team points lose the points that person got, which is unfortunately some of the guys are willing to do that, but they've changed their car, which is it's making it a little bit nicer and easier for the guys to take part in any leagues
I think the
rather than.
only time I ever changed the car in a season was when me and Crazies had the M6.
Oh yeah, and
And
you
we were
genuinely
we were
couldn't
four,
drive it.
yeah, we were like 3 or 4 races till the end of the season, and I think Crazies was mid-table in points, and I was at the back, and we changed over to the Bentley, and that just kind
I
of
think
helped
he
us
won
out a little bit.
4 races for the.
He did, yeah, he did, but it still didn't get him up high in the ratings. He was nowhere near where he wanted to
No.
be.
That's too big a hit. Too big a hit.
Yeah, the M6 was definitely a hard car to get used to.
One of the hardest. You don't see, nobody uses it anymore. It's
Yeah.
probably one of the least used cars now, I would say, because the introduction of the new M4 on PS5.
That's it.
Yeah.
That was the first car I ever used, and I think it was the first Taco Tuesday season.
Right.
and I just got the game, and we was like, just use any car for a minute. And that's what I chose because I used to drive one, and well, not an M6, but a BMW. And it was the worst thing I ever did.
Yeah.
It was terrible.
It's a fast car on a straight line, but other than that, it's death in a handbasket.
Basket's quite a good way of describing it, yeah.
Yeah.
Very good.
So what
But yeah,
kind
it
of,
was
what
funny.
kind of racing games have you played, Lurches? Just the F1 and ACC, or have you got a wider scope that you played on?
Well, iRacing, played a bit of iRacing.
Yeah, I remember that.
But yeah, ACC, yeah, a little bit of Formula One, but nothing major really.
You're quite into your trucking simulators as well, aren't we?
Yeah, even though I drive them in real life, I still like to have a little bash on it, I tell you. It's
You
good fun.
see the man's computer come on at night when he gets in from work. On goes American Truck Simulator.
Listen,
Yeah.
I used to kind of like get myself stuck into that game way back when I had a lot of time, and it was you could lose like a whole day
Oh yeah.
driving
playing
from
it,
one
yeah.
side to the other in the US. Just it was great. I quite liked it. There's something really good about it.
Chris
Best
was
thing,
Chris was waiting for them to bring out Timpson Simulator. That way he can come home from work and keep working.
Come home for work and then fix shoes on a simulating game. That would be awful. Absolutely awful.
the best thing I like about those Euro Truck games, if you play it to precise, so as realistic as possible, you'll be surprised from going from driving them to playing it. It's so similar. It's unbelievable. With like the air on the handbrake and stuff like that. It's nearly to like the point of realism.
Yeah.
Like just driving one in real life.
That's great, and you get to sometimes like we got the Euro Simulator. What did we do? We modded the map and stuff, didn't we? And we ended up getting like the whole of Europe and.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
that was back when that was before the multiplayer update came out.
Our base was Glasgow, so we'd always take off for Glasgow.
All the way over to Middle East. You could go into the Middle East. Come back with holes in your truck.
Excellent. So back to the sim racing. So now, what kind of what leagues are you taking part in just now? Then now that you've transitioned over to PC.
It was the rookies and the Thursday league.
No,
Which is
Thursday was it? Thursday was the
Thursday.
rookies.
Yeah, and the
Tuesday.
Super Sprint
Tuesday Super Sprint.
on a
yeah.
Tuesday.
Aye.
So unless it decides the bucket side is up and be alright.
Yeah. There was
So I've withdrawn from a lot of the races. So it's like I'm just gonna make sure so I don't want to ruin people's races for nothing.
yeah.
Like just because I get a freeze and then just say Woody hits me, I wipe him out, and it's like, oh, well, here's my footage, my computer freeze, So I've just withdrawn from it.
Can't get the footage because the computer shut down on you.
Yeah,
I promise you it happened.
that did, yeah. Just about to start up, just about to log in, and it just went, burn. Come up with a sad face on the screen, and something had happened. I was like, oh no. Quickly, then it switched off, fired it back up, and then it just went from okay to nearly being thrown out the window,
You were having a lot of problems when the hot weather was around, weren't you?
Yeah, it's horrendous.
Components getting way too hot.
Yeah.
But not be long, you got a new upgrade PC coming, don't you?
Yeah, well, I got one off my friend. He said it was better than the one I had, but it was only the graphics card. So I put the Nvidia graphics card into mine. I've got a Radeon, but it's I don't know, 10 years old.
Yeah,
a Sapphire.
I prefer the Nvidia anyway.
Yeah, but I went through with I sent Michael Races, like a PC spec, and he's like, yeah, that'd be sweet when you can afford it, get it. So and it's not going to break the bank too much.
Yeah.
Still enough, still enough.
It's a big strain in the pocket with prices nowadays, but do you know what? See, making that transition to get a really nice PC that runs the game nice and smooth, it's so worth it.
You could always have the family get you it for your half of the wedding gift.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, we want to go to Canada, so that's all our
Well,
money is going to
Could
be.
let
there.
her go to
Hot
Canada,
Canada and you
you
stay with
get
your
the
PC.
PC. Have a happy Halloween, happy Halloween,
Happy holidays.
happy honeymoon, darling. I'll see you when you get back. Go and enjoy yourself.
Yeah.
I'm going to buy a PC.
Bring me back a mountain.
Excellent. So you're taking the plunge.
Yeah, I will be when it's here. It'll be full blown PC then.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
just I don't know. I played it on PlayStation, and like I got the feel of it, but you're so used to the PC. Going back
Yeah.
to PlayStation, you're turning. You're like, oh,
Yeah.
it's like
Earlier,
turn, and then you're like.
Yeah, I've got to admit, I definitely give you guys kudos that go from PC back to PlayStation. I can't do it. I've tried it a couple of times. It's not in my wheelhouse.
Yeah.
Not the
I mean, you've got
slightest.
quite a sophisticated wheel setup, so it doesn't necessarily transition over to the PlayStation as well, does it?
No,
No,
I find
It's
with
a bit difficult.
with the PlayStation, I noticed like compared to the PC, the lag input. So
Mhm.
you turn like, well, you turn like that, and then it does it. If you
Yeah,
know
on
what I mean.
screen.
So you
It's got
turn,
a
and then you're
very,
like
very,
turn, and
very
then you're again.
small lag.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You don't notice it until you go to PC and run on PC for a while, and then you
Yeah.
go to PlayStation. You go, oh, where did that come from? You just you don't notice it until you've like ruined your whole experience by going to PC, and then you can't go back.
It's so crazy how you can drive from PC, drive from PlayStation 5, drive from PlayStation 4, and every single all three of the games just feel and look completely different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot to do with the specs of the PS4 and PS5 though.
And
They,
the
they
frame rate,
managed
I
to
think
get
it's the
different,
frame rate
yeah,
and the generics.
and then the force feedback. How you got to remember it was made by different companies as well. It's all through Kunos, but it was ported.
We've got separate development companies that deal with it, don't they?
They're all ported from Kunos, so
Mm.
to work on a certain system.
Yeah.
So the bit that they have to add in, it would be like it's like maybe like taking a certain DNA strand and inserting something. You're going to make something different because each person's got a different way they want to see that happening.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
different companies would build it up a different way.
So, nailed it, nailed it. So what do you drive on then? What's your rig? What's your setup, Lurches?
It's the next level game in FGTC with the Logitech G923, one with a True Force in it.
Yeah.
Well,
Right.
not very True Force, but it is.
Still the same setup as a G29, just that wee bit better.
Yeah, just a bit better.
So
but
do you
it's not
actually
what-
notice the difference in it?
No,
A
not
lot of
really.
guys have.
No,
Because it's
like
£100 more money, isn't it?
yeah,
Yeah.
it just vibrates a lot more. So instead of it being like, it's
So you're off track, which is quite
Yeah.
a lot. And in my sense, there's no point in me buying the wheel at all because I've just been shaking all over the place.
when you're going across the grass, it feels like you're cutting it on a ride on compared to the G29.
Oh Christ!
So the
Excellent.
G29's for men, the G92, what is it, 920 what?
93.
923, that's for the women, because it vibrates more.
Derek, that's very sexist. We need to cut that bit out.
Ah, look, women enjoy vibrators more than we do, so don't even lie about it.
I know. Listen, don't knock a wee vibrator, and I'll talk to you about that when we're off.
You will
air
not.
later on.
You will be hung up on.
So what pedals are you using?
Just the standard ones they come with,
Yeah.
which is basically the same pedals as the G29.
No more
So-
right? Right.
No, but I believe, which I've been told, you can buy Fanatec pedals, and because it's
You can buy any you can buy any
Yeah.
pedals for a PC. But
just
they
plug
want
it in as the USB,
Yeah.
isn't it?
yeah, they want transfer
Right.
back to the PlayStation, or you'll still have to use your G29 pedals for that.
Yeah.
But yeah, on PC you can mix and match anything you
Yeah,
want.
so I might just like do that. Maybe get some B3 pedal, or not B3, but
You giggling about,
Mhm.
Mister?
I'm just giggling about Briz just went and says to Lutzies hide the credit card. Obviously talking about when you get married.
She's the accountant, so more like she's hiding it from me. I tell you.
Please let me get a PC. He's like that, dangling it. Eee, come and get it.
He comes in the next day like what happened to James with a brand new coffee pot. Look at this £1,000 coffee pot, you're not getting away.
Brilliant. So we've got in the chat, we've got Causa Games, we have Hendrix, hello guys, we have Michael Races and Woody. Darren Mark, as always, Fresh Briz getting in there with his nice comments. Chrissy Shuffler's in, Dazza Snipes, and Cascanova has just says evening. And we've got Mr. Walking Road as well.
And what she's popping up every now and then with a wee message here and there.
Yes. Who's this Lutchies fella? Who is it?
Don't know.
Get him barred, get him barred, get him barred.
I don't know, we'll send that Mr. Scrace after him.
The one with the ginger beard.
You know, and I'm not being funny, but for the longest time I thought your second name was actually your Discord name, and Lutchie was like your second name. Until until the first time I spoke to you, you said, no, that's my real name, and I went, oh, I feel stupid.
Adam's Grace.
Yeah.
It was just kind of built for a sim racer, wasn't it?
So that's one of my biggest gripes on the Discord actually. People are not telling us what their gaming name is, especially on the PC platform, PlayStation platform. So their Discord name and PlayStation name doesn't match, and then you get people signing up, and then you get people coming in the server, and you're like, who the hell is this? And then you're trying to search for them.
Yeah. I think James has got it sorted for PC now. James and Keddy, they set up there's a couple of races that they told people if they don't have their name as well as their Discord name, their game name and Discord name the same, that they wouldn't be allowed to race. So I think I've been finding it so much easier since that time happened. I've lost train of thought. What was I talking about? Gone.
Well, we're only 6 minutes away from doing the lotto, so
Right.
we're nearly there. Again, guys, if you want to get your patron entries in, it only costs you £3 plus VAT. You can become a patron. Then that number that you choose becomes as one of the perks. You get to choose a number. That number's already entered in to our lovely Wheel of Fortune. So numbered between 1 and 999. If it lands on your number, you win the money that's been building up in the pot week on week. Ben Milden won £30.
35?
£35, maybe 40 actually. I think it was 40 quid they won. And then it reset and it's rolled over. So we're now on week 3. We're on £15 and we've got 5 minutes to go before the lotto commences. So, is there any questions at all that's coming in on the live chat? Is anyone asking anything they're dying to know?
Nah, mostly they're just talking about Lutchie's wedding.
They're just hide the credit cards.
Yeah.
Can't believe you're taking the plunge.
It's all downhill from here.
Palaver. Fantastic. And we've got a nice wee message for Coops. He's just message saying he'll totally be able to help when he's back from holiday. So he's away serenading the wife and spending some lovely time on holiday. Excellent.
Where did
Love
they
it.
say that? I'm going to screenshot it so as I can send it to him and say, where you at?
Aye. People on holiday. I never got a holiday this year. Well, that's another story for another time.
I think Coops is missing the first race of the season as well because he's not back yet.
Oh, really?
The first Tuesday race. I could be wrong, but I think
Right.
I think he's missing the first Tuesday race as well because of the way things worked out.
Is James the hero going to step in?
James is doing Tuesday's comms, I believe, the first week. He is also, I'm not entirely sure for how much, but I know that he's going to be working evenings a lot more as well.
Right.
So
Okay.
he might be missing some races. So when him and Coops help out with the podcast where I'm going, you're going to have to make sure that these guys know what day they're on in
That's
advance.
right. I've spoke to James today.
Yeah, you can't rock up at 9:57 and say, "Hey, where he's at?" I'm waiting for the first day that I'm not here, and Chris was going to make up the podcast out for him. the way over, because there's a good chance that at 10 till 10 he's going to be sitting there on his computer putting it all together.
On OBS, I'll have it up and running, ready to rock, and looking beautiful.
And you'll need to do some tests as well, make sure that you've got sound for everybody.
So that's what I'll just do the exact same setup that you have.
Yeah, you're going to have to figure that one out, because I can send you probably the images and stuff.
Yeah, that's fine. We will get there.
Actually, what we could probably do, which we may want to do, is start using the FRL layout that we have for streams, where you've got the banner at the bottom and the FRL at the top, and just take away the FRL. Either make the FRL bit smaller so it doesn't cover faces, or we can take it away completely.
Yep, sounds good.
That way you don't actually have to make anything.
It looks like I've lost another grassroots driver to RKM, Red Kings Motorsport. And if Elysium has transitioned over, which means Lamaro is. It's not you, it's me. Elysium's just messaged saying it's not you, it's me. Thanks, Elysium. Oh, very
so
good.
You're basically saying that you'll probably lose Lamaro as well?
I'm probably going to lose Lamaro as well, because the two of them always race together. They came into the FRL together. They team up quite a lot together. So
yeah, they're kind of like the beta version of Michael Races and Traction Dave, aren't they?
it's like the British version of Starsky and Hutch. Sticky and Hickey.
Sticky and Hickey.
Sticky and Hickey.
Right, so that would
That's
be
fine, Elysium. It's fine. If the grass isn't as green in RKM, you know you can come back anytime.
Think of how much money Michael's paying them.
That
that's sponsor money.
I throw none of my drivers any money, so
No.
if Michael Races is throwing money, I'm going to just leave grassroots fine. Right, so that's us now at the FRL Lotto time. Alarm's probably just about to go off, so we might as well get things up and running and ready to run.
Turn the alarm off early, that way you're not sticking up to the camera and boring as well.
Is she trying to be funny?
No, I'm being serious. Turn that damn thing off.
Sorry, okay.
I'm going to break into your house one day and completely destroy your I.O.
My I.O.
Yeah.
Right, just let me know when the wheel's up.
It's up.
Cool, so
It's had its Viagra.
12999, and all we do is hit the shuffle button and it mixes all the numbers up so that we get a fair chance of a fair chance of just a random number coming up. So we just go 3, 2, 1 and click the button and off we go.
Oh, we started already?
We have, so let's see where it lands today. We've got 999 slots on this thing, and it's went round a couple of times. Where it's going to stop, we don't know. If it lands on your number, you're winning £15 tonight. And it's 738.
And 738 is nobody. It's almost Keddy again.
Oh, that's right.
But it's alright
Keddy
because
won it.
Keddy can't get it. That's the only reason it stopped at 738, because 73 sounds right before it.
No, if it stops on 737, I've got next to 737 in brackets that it was a winning number, so we would go again.
Yeah, so that was closest to Keddy, but the next person closest to it was 777, and that is Kevin McIntyre, or McIntyre 13.
Kev McIntyre.
Yeah.
738.
Is he attempting to steal Gamer Dad's number 13?
No. So 738. I'll stop sharing and then I'll do my bit.
Yes. And we will just discuss things amongst ourselves. You look very bored, Lurches.
No,
we're not asking you enough questions.
JR just put something in the chat, so I was just replying to him.
Right.
Excellent. Keep the questions coming, guys. Keep the questions coming.
So what was the question that he asked? We should have this out in the open.
He was just saying
any news on the PC?
Is he still struggling?
Yeah, it's been struggling for a while, hasn't it?
Yeah.
But as I said, the weather made that not much help.
No, that's it. So I'll give it another go tomorrow, I expect.
Yeah, likes of the processor and all that, they all run on any of the processors in the PC. They all run. The performance runs by heat. So when it's hot already, it doesn't take long for them to get up to too hot and start lagging.
So Michael Races has got quite an interesting question. This is an interesting question actually because Lurches does have quite a young and voluptuous looking beard, and Michael Races has asked the question, what is Lurches' beard care routine?
He's also about
Aye,
20
it
years
means-
younger than us, Chris. that helps.
Head and shoulders, that's where that goes on this.
Head and
Literally.
shoulders.
I'm literally just like, yeah, that'll do.
Yeah, but you don't have dandruff. I know.
Do you know that's actually
Saves it, doesn't it?
it's actually something that a lot of people don't think about when they're washing their face and their beard, and they use normal soap. It's a hair. Use shampoo
And
and
then,
conditioner.
like, I put beard oil on it sometimes.
I don't go that far.
Not apart from that, not a lot. Depends if I want to make it shine, you know.
a bit of what, chip grease on there.
Make,
But
a,
as it's
make a nice
my
pointed beard.
As it's Mike asking the questions, you need to eat 20 nuggets a day.
Nuggets. Michael's still got gravy in there from the other dinner he had.
Excellent, brilliant. At least the questions are coming in, irrespective of their content. The questions are coming in. I like it. Excellent, guys. The chat's alive. We've got 16 viewers, and we've just done the lotto, so that kind of marks the point where we could maybe go and have a look at maybe some of these clips, if you want to do that before we have a look at the standings tonight.
Yep, we could do that. Do you want me to do that, or are you going to see with chest that you've got this covered and not have it covered?
So I just share a window, don't I?
It doesn't work. That's why we do it the other way.
So what do we do then?
I'm just going to go through Discord, and people will see it through that because the how many frames you get to see through the Google Meet just doesn't work. You don't
Right.
remember this? Have you forgotten already?
No, so you've never ever shown me. You've only told me again in theory.
Aye, well I'm going to have to help you get it set up.
Yes. So you've only told me, but I've never had it demonstrated.
Yeah.
So that's what this is what we're going to do before you go.
So we're going to start with I'm really not sure, is that PyoGNC F1? P, is it an L or an O? What do you think? An L or an O? An L or an I? What do we think?
PLOGNESF1. So we'll just call him Plodge.
Plodge. Right, Plodge, let's see what you got. We'll start with you.
So click on the link,
Oh,
not that.
Jesus, I've gone all the way through.
So he's driving away. Is he driving?
That would be a BMW M6.
What have we just been talking about? Whoa! Right. And he's just done a
Brilliant.
complete 360. Fantastic.
And
Well,
our
like-
judges say,
The only other
10.
person that's ever done that was Fresh Priz up in the mountain.
Briz done that in the mountain. I done it on the mountain as well, in the M4. Had all my wheels pointing in the way. Don't remember if you remember that one. Right, so we're going to move on to Woody.
Right to fame.
Nearly rolled his
Plodge done a
GT4.
360.
Woody almost rolled his GT4 Porsche at Silverstone. I remember this
Oh,
one.
I seen this. I seen
Ah,
this.
but yeah,
Clip.
but
This is
no issues, no
this is
issues.
brilliant.
In the
This
first
is
turn,
absolutely
in the
brilliant.
first turn, I saw this.
The beauty of the PC is you've got this lovely kind of drone camera that you can do, and it can just follow the car from any angle.
It's the airtime he gets.
He's up in two wheels for that's probably a good 2 seconds.
Yeah, it's the airtime. If it wasn't for the fact that he had to turn in the next corner, I don't think he'd have made it.
They just kept going. Doink.
So we're going to wheel down Glue Yas 22. Glue
Right, okay.
Yas. Is that glue?
Glorious.
Is that going to be glue your ass? Glue Yas?
Derek!
What?
Marcus Gloius.
Is that his name?
Drive PlayStation.
Oh, I'm going to get cancelled, boys.
You're, it's,
I didn't know it was his actual name.
let's just cut the feed.
I was going for the top part. The twos. I thought the twos were part of the S's. Okay, well, who cares? These things happen.
Yes.
Crikey.
There's Hypergrade and Sham Show.
High grades, Sam. So this was
This is Paul Ricard.
Paul Ricard, Tackle Tuesday. This was the
That was a nice pass on Sham Show. Sham Show fell back.
This was the series. So we had a grid of, it was supposed to be 27 for the ARM and 30 for the Pro, and we ended up with 23 for ARM and 29 for Pro, so it was some stacked grids
dear.
to say the least. Some really nice battles, and then a nice wee touch. So hard racing from Boyus and High Grade here. High Grade putting the bed where it needs to be. Boyus just missed his breaking point there, but some good hard racing. Nobody lost a place, tiny bit of damage, the guys carry on, and there was no ticket raised with that one, I don't think, so there we go.
So this one is from Renvler. The caption says, FRL Jamie takes to the skies.
Oh,
So
right, okay, this will be interesting.
Guess we had a flyer.
Let's see.
Try to see if I can find out where Jamie is. That looks like Michael. This is a formation lap. Is it?
I think so.
Oh, so that was actually Jamie, the one I thought was Michael.
Wow. Yes, I've done that many a time. That sausage curb is absolutely lethal.
Yeah,
Oh, we're going to get a different view on it as well.
I think so. That's what happens when you try and cut those corners.
Yes. Down, most
Hey.
points in.
Yeah, you should definitely be glad that it was a ghost lap. And then what we got, Tackle Tuesday, Awesome Lap 1 Racing, Renvler and Twitch.
Yeah, so this is him just showing the full first lap. So it is just under 2 minutes long. It shows pretty
So
good
was-
lap.
So was
One
this,
car spins and that is it.
is this him fighting against Renvler then, right?
Just him going round the track and showing last night that the 29 cars that started in the pro section
Right.
had a lovely clean. There was one car that lost it, and I don't think it was contact. It was just them losing it.
Alright, so we don't have 2 minutes to watch, guys, but if you go in there and watch it on the Clips channel, you'll be good to go.
Best thing to do is go in and watch it, subscribe where you can, and hit the like button if it's a YouTube as well. Just give the guys the recognition that I'm looking for, because these clips they're golden.
We'll move on to Darren, who races with the same team as I do, but I've not raced
Tazza
much.
Snipes posted this in.
Yeah, but it's about Darren Mark. It's got his name attached to it, I think. So we'll find
My
out.
movie, it's called. Oh,
It's 9 seconds long.
this must be on the
Oh,
PlayStation 4.
Jesus. You see Darren in the background now? Watch in the mirror. Watch Darren in the mirror. I'll play it again.
I can't see the mirror because of the band. It's over the
Ah.
broadcast.
Okay, so
What does Darren do?
he hits the same sausage curves and flies.
Does it just go flying?
Yeah.
I'll go on and have a look at that.
Oh yeah, you
with
just have to
the
have a
band
look at
on
that. That's a shame the band's covered. That's why we might need to go ahead and look at different ways of doing that.
Ah,
Yeah, that
no,
was good fun.
definitely.
I'm going to actually give that a like. That was funny. So, Zebadoo, or whatever his name was. Let's move on to,
Zebediah.
yeah, this is James Williams.
This was funny.
I just passed you on the grass.
If it's possible, you can get
I
the
watched
comms.
this.
Can you
This
get
is
the actual
brilliant.
audio on this one?
Yeah, the audio is there. You just have to watch it on. You should be able to hear it.
The audio is phenomenal on this.
Find out.
Yeah, this was in the Silverstone
This
race,
was
wasn't it?
PC Silverstone, big grid.
Yeah, James is a bit quiet, but you can hear it.
Only 1.3 seconds behind Michael races. A lot of traffic in front of Michael now, and also Cthulhu, but it could be swings and roundabouts of where these drivers come out. It's impressive again, just to say that this guy is on a keyboard and mouse. Lots of cars distributed across the field, the track. Michael managed to get through.
Bang,
Derek
cars
is on
everywhere.
the right hand side.
That was me.
Goes on the grass to go past Derek.
So he just goes on the grass, takes
Just
the
because on the
place.
grass to take me, aye.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's what James now says after it. He's like,
It
I
leaves
have
us
no words.
speechless. It does, it leaves us speechless.
What to say?
I don't know what to say.
Just going through the cycle. The cars are all over the place. Just coming onto the hangers.
that was a really, really bad attempt at a Welsh accent as well, Derek.
Don't know what to say. It wasn't really an attempt, I just have to say it that way. So we've got, we'll finish up with Zombie Dom's first video, and then we'll start next week with the second one. So Zombie Dom, a short clip of Chris, is this you?
Yeah, so I held Zombie Dom and Gamerdad off last night for about 20 minutes. It was the worst 20 minutes of my bloody life.
As long as it's not too long, we'll watch it.
No,
It's only 2 minutes.
Me snippet.
And then make sure there's no copyright music on it. It was last time.
It's just Zombie Dom doing his thing. He does like 3D animations.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
That is pretty cool, innit?
So you're in the Bentley.
Yes,
The 74 car is that Zombie Dom.
yes. And Gamerdad's in the flying pink thing.
That's an Audi as well, but it looks it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Poor like Gamerdad's saying he's still kind of learning the Audi, and I'm frightened what he's going to be capable of in it when he nails it, because it was applying the pressure on me so much last night. Like lap after lap after lap after lap after lap.
See, at
and
this
I
point,
lost.
At this point, you only have to worry about Zombie Dom. Zombie Dom's got to worry about Gamerdad and trying to pass you.
Yeah,
So is you're then worrying about it.
He said he's never sweated so much for 23 minutes of sweating profusely last night.
It's times like this when you're sitting that close to someone behind you that you just wish you had a half a second more in you to get pulled away and give yourself some breathing room.
But if you make one mistake,
Oh, yeah.
there's
It's
so
a
much
horrible track.
runoff and there's so much track that they can pass you. So what I had to do was I had to position my Bentley as perfectly as I possibly could last night. And on this back straight, my wing was at 2. They must have had lower wing because they were catching me every time.
Mm-hmm.
So I kept my car to the right hand side every single lap, and then I literally phased over into the middle of the track, then over to the left. And I think I'd probably say about 3 or 4 of the laps out of all of them, I was side by side going round that fast right hander at the end of the straight here as well,
Yeah.
with both Zombie Dom and Gamerdad on separate occasions. And then eventually I made one silly mistake with 2 corners to go, and Zombie Dom took the place. So I ended up finishing 5th and Zombie Dom took
You managed to keep your place from Gamer.
Yes.
As long as you don't hit those little tabs on the side of the track, you don't invalidate.
That's correct, yes.
And there's
The runoff there's really,
and it's
really
this
light,
this
actually.
corner as well. If you watch carefully around the corner, there's 2 wee tabs on the side, on the right hand side. As long as you don't go over them, you're good as well.
If you stay within them, you're
Yeah.
good. So
And then on the last corner too, you've got 2 wee tabs. As long as you miss the wee tabs, you're good. But to try and get as close as possible to them is a dangerous game.
it's possibly 18 laps we did last night, 17 laps maybe, I can't remember, and about 14 of them, Dom and Gamerdad taking turns each showing their nose,
Hurting your
and it
pride.
was great. It was phenomenal driving. I was so I'd never blinked last night. 30 minutes, I never blinked. Brilliant.
So back to the conversations in the chat. Anybody got questions? No, don't see any.
Nothing at all.
Jan has appeared. Hello, Jan.
Jan.
Jan Brath. Barth. Sorry.
Oh,
Yeah.
Jan Barth. Excellent. How we doing, Jan? Thanks for showing up. Dazza Snipe saying Top Gun ACC edition. Brilliant.
So
Jan, my dude. So we've actually got the standings to look at now.
yeah, it'll be
Yeah.
PS standards we've got for definite. The PlayStation. We can maybe talk about the what we saw there with James and the grass overtake, and Woody doing his two wheels motorbike race at Silverstone. That was the big grid.
Yes.
Started off with a couple of problems, but it turned out to be a really good race. I hated my Chevy. I picked a Chevy thing. I didn't know. I thought we were at Bathurst before we started the race.
And then
And-
we logged in, it said Silverstone.
No,
You're
no,
like,
it was like a day or something before, and I'd already registered and built the livery for the car. And I thought I'm just going to have to go around with the Chevy, but the Chevy doesn't like that track. 30 minutes and your tyres are gone. That's it.
Right.
So I had an awful time, and then my good friend Woody decided in the third lap to unceremoniously destroy me and the BMW that was next to us.
Oh, excellent.
We just
It's not
picked,
like him at all, is it?
you know where the F1 pit starts?
Uh-huh.
So we're coming up to, now you got the little tight chicane, and then you go up the start finish line for the F1.
Yes.
We're coming up to there. We came round the bend. I don't know corner names, so I can't say. We come round that the long sweeping right hand bend, and we all transitioned through.
Wow.
Yeah, we all transitioned to just past the pits where there's a little kink, and me and the BMW take the kink, and Woody just went straight on.
Took you out.
Killed me and knocked me into the BMW, and the two of us hit the wall.
Oh,
And I was
that-
just,
that-
I was driving for the next half hour with 30 seconds worth of damage.
I guarantee you that's been, his noses went right, his tank slapped left.
No,
That's just snapped.
he thought he was blaming me for the whole race, and we showed him the video afterwards, and he went, I don't know how I did that. He just basically drove into us. I don't think he knew the BMW was there. I'm guessing that's what happened. So he thought that I would be moving over, but I had nowhere to go. There was a BM there, and he just kept
Ah.
drifting over and caught my front end.
Well, if he'd have come off the throttle and just let he's gone round the corner, it'd have been a better race.
We were three wide. If he'd have stayed going straight, I would have braked a little bit and let him get the corner, and the BMW could have done what he wanted to do. He was a GT3. But yeah, I would have gave him the space going into the corner, but they killed me before we even got to make that choice.
I think the last time I raced on PC alongside yourself, Lurches, was Barcelona, and we had a few wee kind of battles, I think, throughout the race. I would say we're marginally similar paced on PC. You're probably slightly faster, I would say, on PC. Just, I don't know what it is. I think I've not taken the PC as much as I would have liked to. I'm still a bit off the pace on PC big time.
We raced at Hungaroring, and Dale thought it'd be funny to give us penalties for no reason. Do you remember that?
Yes. I think what did you give me? A drive-through or something? Or a... No,
Yeah,
what did you
something like
give?
that.
I think it was 15 seconds, but then removed it again straight away.
I think it's like we touched a little bit. I got a 15-second. I was like, "No, Dale, come on!" And next thing you know, you
What was
had. I
this?
was like, "Hang on."
This a race we
That
had
race-
at Hungaroring in PC. You
Ah.
gave us 15 seconds each or something. Is that
I think
a
it was
joke?
like my first ever race or second ever race.
No, because you can't take time penalties away. I might have given you a drive-through and cleared it, just to
Yeah,
annoy
that
you.
was it.
And it would have had to have been just a one-off exhibition race. I wouldn't have done it in an actual championship.
I can't remember what it was. I can remember something slightly, vaguely about it.
Every time I give you a penalty in the race, you give me a hard time at the end of it, and then you look at the replay and go, okay.
It's heat in the moment, you know. It's always heat in the moment, Dale.
I got yelled at for half an hour one day. You got taken in for a wee interview with James, came back, says, I looked at the review, I'm sorry.
Sorry.
But that's
we
the
all
thing.
do it. We
All
all do
the admins are just as culpable at getting penalties as the rest of us. And-
I've seen them being issued
Oh yeah.
to James and Crazies and stuff like that, so I've seen it happen.
And I get them as well. I'm just very clean because I have to be very clean because I am head steward.
When you get penalised, Dale, it's got to be fourfold because you're the guy
Aye.
that gives the penalty. You're the hangman.
It's
so if
James.
you're given-
It's James that gives me the penalties, and he's not lenient at all.
No.
James, that was just a wee door bang. There's no even any paint missing. That's alright. It's a drive-through penalty.
Drive through 12 race ban. So we
So we have
are,
the Taco Tuesdays, and this bloody video scared the crap out of me again.
fantastic. So the standings may change, but they are just now, so there's been no penalties or position change application applied, sorry, off the back of any tickets. So as they stand, there might be some slight changes, but let's just go and
Yeah,
have
'cause
a
you
look.
guys raced last night, didn't you?
Yes.
And it was Paul Ricard. So you guys are into round 5.
Yes.
What's
It's
Paul
already
Ricard
been
last
5
night?
weeks. It's been a very,
Yeah.
very quick 5 weeks, and next week's our Bolton Park 90-minute special.
How long's 90 minutes? How long's
1 hour
90?
30.
I was meaning how long's the special, but you said 90 minutes and my brain's not working. Ignore me.
But it's 90 minutes, it'll be 2 pits, it won't be mandatory tyres, it'll just be split splash and dashes, but if you want to change your tyres, I would recommend you do, because Old Park kills your tyres like nothing else.
Depends what car you're driving. A wee
If
Lex,
we're pushing any car in Old Park, it destroys your tyres.
a wee Lexus might make it.
Right, okay. It's not a car I've touched since ISRL, so...
I don't know how it would do on PlayStation right enough.
So, let's have a look at...
It's quite good
right
on
now,
tyres and PC.
the standings are quite tight at the top, with IR Graham, Brandon Glover and Essa Racing, Essa 28 in the top 3. We've got I Am Slow and Will Friedman. Will Friedman's missed 2 races because he's been on holiday.
It's amazing how far he's fell with two breaks, 2 misses.
All can change with
Yeah.
the next 5 rounds. So 5 rounds gone, and there's pretty much 1 win separating the top 4 or 5. So we need to keep an eye on that one. That's going to unfold very interestingly over the coming weeks. We've also got quite a lot of reserves that have been taking part, and it's been piloted in the tacos that the reserves get their name put into the list. So right now we've got Gamerdad, Linkler, Rapid Duck, Fireblade and Zombie Dom all kind of getting involved here or there and kind of like carrying some points into the table.
How come Rico Vantage doesn't have a colour?
I'm unsure. Some of the
And how is Tro still a silver?
I'm unsure.
I asked a hard question. Jester's not got a colour either.
You're asking questions I don't know how to answer, sorry. So, if you look up on the top one first, so if you look at the pro table, there's only 9 drivers.
Yep.
The reason being we've lost a driver, and another driver has been allocated to the AM slot, meaning there's 11 drivers in AM and 9 in pro, making up the 20 slots. That's something that's been kind of like decided by Will Friedman himself.
So did you put any posters up to try and find this driver, or is he just decided lost forever?
I think it's so. Whenever any reserves take part in any races, me personally, when it comes to the PlayStation side, there's actually 5 or 6 spaces now available in the AM section, and 1 in the pro. And I've been asking all the drivers, do you want to? But the guys that are reserving, they can't commit. They just want to happily reserve because week on week they don't know what's going on. So we've got John Jigg with Robin Dobbin and Jan Peters in the pro. Sorry, this is the AM section.
This is the AMS.
The AMs rounding off the top 3 with Dinder Mufflin and
Big time
guess
Dave.
who's in top 5? Big Time Dave, Mr. Alien of the Week last week.
Lutches is
Unbelievable.
doing his reserve part.
Your name's in there.
Did not finish it though.
No, I didn't.
So that's the PS4 drivers.
Yes.
We'll have a quick look at the teams.
Yes, the teams are good. The teams are the kind of points in the teams are quite tight.
On you go. Fire away. Do your thing.
So we've got Ebb Racing, Bearded Zing Racing, Zing Grey Racing, 1 Alien, 1 Gentleman, Green Pies and Slow Mo Guys.
Third place is tight.
Yeah. It is
The
indeed.
fight for third place.
Yes. And then we have Big Jig. I'm going to say,
Big Jig Purple Fruit.
but what did I call that again? A zucchini?
It's a
Big, big-
eggplant. Zucchini or something.
an eggplant.
What's the English version of an eggplant?
Well, it's called eggplant in the UK and a zucchini in.
No, they call it eggplant in America as well.
Oh, is it?
Aye.
Right, okay. So big jig. We've got Dinder, Dob, and Dynamics.
It's a fruit that the over anxious females use.
CBR, Triple X Motorsport, and Team Resolute. Jester and Jester.
So
How's
there's
Jester
5
named it?
teams per split, right?
Yes. Yeah.
And then you've got the PS5 drivers.
Yes. So after the results have been entered.
So this is not any splits or anything. It's just straightforward.
Yeah.
one-
So this top table.
Okay, so there's 30
Aye.
drivers and then the second tier.
Aye. So the top table is Pro, and the second table is AM. So Pro, we're looking at Jetpack Nebula, Cool Racing, and Art Corner in the top 3. With Rob 2K and Kuno matching on points, closely followed by Ben Milden, and then Michael Races, who has missed 2 races, in 7th place. It's very, very strange seeing him down there, but it's because he's missed 2 races.
He's also, well, he's got first place for each race that he's been in.
It has. So it could have been a different story altogether.
What's happening, Chris?
Don't ask.
Where's Hutchie? That's Hutchie.
Having him here.
So there's your reserves for there as well.
Yep, there's been quite a lot of reserves taking part, so Butch Tick, the young lads, and then we've got Cheese, Floppy Fox, Euphoric State, Marpat, Venom, High Grade, and Crazy Face, all showing some consistent results. And then if we
And
go to
move
the
on
AM
to the
section,
amateurs.
I think we had Cole Fighter, had a bit of an absolute flyer last night. He was really, really quick in quali, and I think he took the quali and he took the race. So he had a double stunt last night. We L3W1 UK and Axel Racing finished rounding off the top 3. Oh no, Clates, sorry, apologies. Clates at the top. He had an absolute cracker last night. G Harvey and Ibrahima rounding off 5 and 6. And again, if you scroll down, you'll see
Some reserves.
ERT, ART,
Can you
Venom
not?
again.
Could
Uzi
you not
and Geo.
add? Could you not add them into the actual series since there's only 24 drivers?
So I've been asking people, like I say, these gaps are there, and I'm
But
trying
they-
to fill them, and they just don't want to take the spots.
Not able to take them out because they can't commit to the whole season.
Venom has taken part in both the AM and the Pro
Mm-hmm.
throughout the last 5 races, so obviously we've had some stacked grids, and when the pro grid gets full, the AM grid starts getting filled up. So
It's nice to see Gio once in a while getting into a reserve race as well.
aye,
So that brings us to the PS5 teams.
yes.
So we'll start with the top 5 teams.
So Aka Mercedes, Red King Motorsport, and Arts Auto Butchers round off the top 3, but it's really, really, really close in the top 2 if you look at that.
Yeah.
And it's the usual suspects: Cullen Milden with Jetpacker Nebula, sorry, and Michael Races. So some really, really strong candidates there. And then if we go to the AM section, R2R and undertrained motorsports, usual suspects in there as well. Clates is top of the table, so that kind of shows good stead that he's in the top team. Because I think G Harvey's been having some consistent rounds as well.
Cool. So we'll move on to GT4 Thursday. It
Yes.
started, hasn't it? All the PS ones are started, haven't they?
Yes, they're in running. So we are now in week 4. Going into week. I'll have a look.
Yeah, week 4 going into week 5, which is Alton Park as well.
Yeah, so we've just had round 4 there.
25th. No, tomorrow's the 4th
We've had
round.
3 rounds. Tomorrow's round
tomorrow's
4.
podcast,
Apologies.
yeah, okay.
I've had to merge the 2 grids again, so PS4 and PS5 are going to be racing on the PS4 version again, because this is the 3rd week running where the numbers have been very low.
Yeah. Just curious, do you tend to lose a lot of the PS5 guys when you have to merge it like that? The ones that were turning up?
About 3 or 4. But right now there's only 14 people. I'll need to have a look and see after this tonight, but there's only 14 people between both PS4 and PS5. So I've already done the post, it's in the announcements.
That's a
To see
shame.
if we can get the people on the same grid. So I Am Slow, Robin Dobbin and Barnett's rounding off the top 3 in the PS4. So it's GT4, and you've got 4 golds drivers in the top 4.
And obviously Bill had 2 weeks off.
So he has. So I would say he would be up there. He would
Oh
probably
yeah,
be up
I mean
there in the league.
he won 3 out of the first 4 races and came silver in the first race. So
So I would say he would be easily in the 240 mark
yeah.
right now.
And then the PS5 drivers, we got.
So I still result I still rate the PS4 and PS5 drivers on the same PS4 version grid race against their own class.
Yeah.
So their points are still get put on separate tables. So as you can see, the numbers there are quite short. Very very low numbers last week on the PS5 side, but they still had the points went through. There was only 5 drivers showed up.
I think TK Drifter, if he keeps that kind of pace up, I would say a race or 2 and he's claimed it.
Aye, he'll have claimed it by I would say race 7 if he keeps going.
Yeah.
So you get TK Drifter, Shamshow and Darren Mark in the top 3. It's good to see Darren Mark up there.
And he's missed a
Hutchies
couple of
as
races
well.
as well.
Hutchie, who's Mr. Complainer, always complains about his car, always bloody finishes top 6.
Well, that's the same as Chica, isn't
They always complain.
it? Crybaby
I think they're looking for
crybaby
absolute-
bitches and they actually make it. So we'll move on to mixed Mondays, Sundays, mixed Sundays.
Sunday.
I don't know what. See, it used to be mixed Mondays with RSPS, but it's changed now, isn't it?
Yeah, mixed Sunday.
Yeah.
And then when that finishes, we'll see how it pans out, if it's going to switch to Monday or if it's going to stick with Sunday.
Right. And what did you
I'm
do on a
mixed.
Monday just now?
On mixed nothing. On
Nothing.
mixed series, will switch between Mondays and Sundays. It just depends on how it votes and stuff.
So I take it the pure Sim Gear Sunday sprints didn't take off again.
No, so this is the pure sim gear. So
So
we
it's-
call
you made it
call
mixed.
this one the pure sim gear.
Right.
So anything that happens on the Sunday is pure sim gear.
So you're into round 3 this week at Paul Ricard,
Yes.
and then I'll work part next week.
Yeah.
So PS4 wise, we have got
We've had 2 rounds so far. We're going into round 3 at Paul Ricard this coming Sunday. And in the GT3 section on PS4, we've got Linkler, Brandon Glover and Fresh Jinx in the top 3, with Evan and C Shuffler rounding the top 5 off.
yep.
And these grids are stacked. They tend to be really kind of full, so we're getting some nice numbers, some good numbers. I Am Slow, Barnuts and Tro in the GT4 section, with Devil Sun and Big Time Dave rounding off the top 5.
So that's your PlayStation 4. There's your teams as well. So you want
Yes.
to run? Look at
So
them,
the teams
or-
are built up of one GT4 and one GT5, one
Really?
GT4 and one GT3 on the PlayStation 4 side. So DT, GT Motorsport, and then you've got Team Bandit Racing with We the Clover Racing rounding off the top 3. But I think We the Clover's going to start dropping down the roster, because We the Kev now races PC, doesn't he?
No, I think he's still. Well, do you know
He's
what?
really-
I don't know if he's going to finish out the seasons or not.
He's going to, I think he's going to finish off the US seasons, but he's not going to take part in the EU anymore.
Okay. I know that to start with, he's only going to be doing maybe endurance races on PC to begin with.
What?
And then I'd imagine once things settle down, he'll be able to start getting back into league racing. Because at the moment, if you think about it, he's got a lot going on between European season, US season, and then try to jump over to PC as well.
Aye. Well, you've got to make a decision.
He's going to have to figure out where he stands. And
Yep.
Mr. Shuffler's moved over to PC for the same criteria as well.
Mhm.
So I don't see them leaving the US side, period, though.
No.
That's their wee baby.
Of course it is. Of course it is.
So that was PS5 side. What's that?
No, that was PS4.
Why is it showing as PS5 then? Did I open the PS5 up while we were talking?
I think so.
I'm lost, Chris. What do I do?
So go back up and close, click PS4 again, and then click PS5. Right. So on the GT3 side, we've got Cool Racing, Milden and myself rounding off the top 3 after 2 races, with Kino DJ and Shamshow rounding off the top 5.
Must have been a lot of crashes that you got up there.
I was waiting on
Yeah,
something
well,
like that
that's
coming in.
horrible, that is.
I can never be given a compliment. It's
Aye,
okay.
you're
I've
doing
got
well.
thicker skin than most.
You're doing well.
Aye. Oh my god. Right, and then if we scroll down,
If I gave you compliments, you would think there's something wrong and you'd be up at my door checking my
I know
pulse.
what's wrong with you. And then we've got Ams,
10.
Andy Cra and David Jr. Rounding off the top 3 in the GT4 section, with Marty's Road Racing in the high grades in the top 5.
So how is it 2 GT3 cars and 1 GT4?
Yes,
Right.
so there's 2 GT3, 1 GT4 in each of the teams. And Full Send Motorsports, myself, Jet Packer, Nebula and Andy Cra. I think we're kind of running away with it only after 2 races.
I just realised his name is Andy Cra. I've been calling him Andy Carr. It's just because you said his name. I've been butchering that for years and
Andy
thinking I was
Cra
getting it right.
911. He likes to drive Porsche as if he didn't know. SBR Motorsport and SBR Shadow. Rounding off the top 3 with Red Kings and Big Zoos and Big Eats. These are the teams the names that I named because people never put in any of their team names. So I had to name it.
I lost my screen, hang on.
What are you saying?
I lost my screen.
Oh, goodness.
It decided to play funny bigger, so I'll bring it back up, but until
So
that
we're
point,
down to 11 people
I can maybe
and
do it from here.
the actual podcast itself.
Sorry, I'm
Dazza Snipes has put, he can't sign full time because I'm just so rapid that it wouldn't be fair. Even, even Sting wrote a song about me. Ooh, I'm on an alien, I'm an illegal alien. I'm an alien, I'm an illegal. Well,
No, it was a legal alien.
yeah.
Right, why do we keep having videos and the bloody things? It scares me.
It's just the newie thing that has been added in to entice people.
It's gamers just trying to scare the hell out of me. Oh, what's this chat here? Discord channel. So we start with Tuesday Slammers.
Yes,
We've got what, 5 races done?
we are indeed. So do you want to do the standings here, Lurches? Can you read that okay?
No, I
That-
can't.
that's a bit-
Oh, you
No.
can.
No.
Are you on your phone?
No, I'm on my PC, but it's not very clear.
Ah, right, okay.
Two
we've
screens
got-
on his PC and a phone and still can't read it.
Well, this is our Tuesday GT3 section, and we've got Aya Graham, Gamer Dad, and Fast Matt in the top 3. With Sea Shuffler and Evan in the top 5.
Mr. DT himself.
I've only taken part in a couple of races because I've been extremely busy after tacos most Tuesdays.
So the Thursday Slammers.
This is a GT4 late night, which has got Wee the Kev at the top with Gamer Dad and Tro. Wee the Kev's been taking part in all of them, so I think this is something that he's going to continue racing just now as a wee kind of to keep himself in tow with things. And Fast Matt and Sea Shuffler in the top 5.
And then the Sunday Porsche Cup, so that's the late night for Sundays, I guess.
Yes, now we have comms.
You do Thursday night and Sunday night comms, don't you?
Yeah, so me and Neil do 2 Beards 1 comms for both the late night Thursday and Sunday leagues now. So it's usually just a bit of a kind of we just get in and if we talk about racing, we talk about racing. If we talk about other things, we talk about other things. Been exciting.
From what I've seen, Woody tries to talk about the racing and things and you just go off on tangents.
Nope, the 2 of us go off on the same tangent.
Start playing with your wee dog face and stuff with your tongue out.
IR Graham and Gamer Dad and Devil's Son in the top 3. I don't know how the guys do it, but the Porsche Cup's an extremely difficult car to drive. We've got Elk Massive and Big Time Dave in the top 5. And I think so I've had a
So is he a superhero now?
disconnected
Oh, DC comic.
DC.
Quit.
So that's your
Oh,
Porsche Cup.
it's-
That would be all of your stuff except the American ones.
Yes, so the American series have actually been doing really, really well.
They're midway season, aren't they?
And have a wee look.
I'm waiting for it to load up. It's been slow tonight. Must be a lot of people following us into the web page as we go. So we have Thursday Night's Thunder. We've got PS5. The Friday Endurance done mixed. So we'll start with the Tuesday Night Thunder, which is the PS5.
Yes.
You want to say some names?
Yes, so you've got JP Desdub, GNS, and Big Wang Bang, my favourite name in the entire world. In the top three, with Georgie Priest and Titan via RB Anchi rounding off the top five. If we scroll down, you can see. We've got a few lots of kind of new names that are kind of showing up there as well. So excellent.
Start to not just be North America, not even just US. We've got some Brazilians.
Excellent.
That looks like Australian, might be New Zealand.
That's Sasquatch. She's Aussie.
Yeah. And then we got some Puerto Rican. A wee Puerto Rican guy coming.
Yeah.
Not sure who
don't know
he is,
where
but
EG Photo or Club Racer come from.
no, I'm not sure. But yeah, it's nice to see that it's starting to expand outside of the US. That might scare
Yes.
some of the American drivers because those racing in those areas is not strictly NASCAR like the US is. These guys grow up with like Formula One and other types of racing.
Well,
They
Briz
got-
is at the top of the roster here with We the Kev and JP Desdub rounding off the top three, but I think Briz is now withdrawn from every single PlayStation event, so he'll start kind of going down the standings.
As he left all the events, yeah.
Aye, Juggernaut and Sea Shuff. Sea Shuffler bringing up the top five. Again, a really, really good mix and
Yeah, they got
stacked
a
grid.
full 20 grids, maybe not
Yep.
showing up every single week, but what happened to race 2.2? Did it collapse?
So they do week on week with these races, like they do intermittent weeks.
No, but this is Thursday Thunder, it's the same car. So race 2 of 2 would have been the second race to race 2,
Ah, right, okay, I get you. I think they're
unless it was a one-time race or a special race that
Aye,
just drew up
but
like that.
actually, the way the races pan out, some of them are double headers, some
Yeah.
of them are single headers. So they kind of mix it up.
Yeah. So the week
The
by
drivers on the road.
the weekly ones is the endurance, 1 week endurance, 1 week mixed. So we'll start off with the endurance, which is again somewhat filled up, except for race 2, which he said that one was postponed for the 4th of July, so they will come back to it. Oh, you know what? I wonder if the other one was no, because the first race got done in the other one. Just waffling mince at the moment. Carry on.
So, I think this one has completed.
No, because they've still got round 6, and then they're going back to round 2. That was the
Right,
4th.
okay.
Round
So we
2.
the
Round
Kev-
2 was the 4th of July. I think.
We the Kev, Rowdy Burns, and Sea Shuffler in the top three. I mean, it's the usual suspects always.
Mhm.
And you've got Butler Racing creeping up in the top five, closing the top five off with Hazard level 4.
And again, it's a full complement, even though they might not be able to race every single week.
Mhm.
They are showing up whenever they
Numbers
can.
are growing.
And then you've got the mixed Monday, blah, 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 the mixed Fridays.
Spit it out.
Dude, there's so many mixed days. There's mixed Sunday, there's mixed Friday, there used to be mixed Mondays.
I mean, I'm getting sick of saying this guy's name. We the Kevs in the top, first place with
They-
air player.
I think the
Butler.
PS side might be glad to see him leave.
Hazard level 4 and Briz. So we the Kev and Briz leaving, they're going to start seeing tighter grids and tighter races, because I think we the Kev and Briz and things like that, they just take off,
Yeah.
uncatchable, unraceable. And
See,
the
Shuffler
GT4
looks like
tech-
he's up there as well.
I mean, You yourself, Lutches, you know what it's like trying to race against any of these bloody guys. They just take off.
Yep,
They're uncatchable.
definitely that Michael races. He's a pain in the rear.
Michael's easy enough to deal with. You just need to catch him in the first lap and spin him, and then keep him behind you the whole time.
I tend to find taking a BB gun with me, and if you shoot at his tyres and it deflates his tyres, it slows him down. So
And
SRE boss.
Then you're going into Curry's for a new PC screen.
Aye. Why is it not getting him? So SRE boss, Sea Shuffler, and Big Time Dave in the top 3.
Yep.
Get in there, son. Davey boy, Mr. Consistent, 4465, and that's when he got his first podium. He was over the moon. He's part of Grassroots, and it was in Grassroots mentioned that I've had my first podium, and oh yes, brilliant, excellent. It's just onwards and upwards for Big Time Dave, I tell you that.
Then you got Hen 420 and Rowdy Burns.
Hendricks and Rowdy rounding off the top 5, and then Gamer Dad showed up in a couple of these as well, so I think
Yeah.
he's
He showed up one.
1 or 2. He was in one of the other ones as well,
Yeah.
so that's
Rowdy Burns, I spoke to him a couple of weeks ago. He's getting ready to do some PC work as well.
yes.
He's just getting
yes,
ready, getting his safety rating stuff up.
yes.
So we're starting to get all you guys' fast drivers out of there for you and moved over to the PC.
Yes.
So that's it. Is there anything else you'd like to look at? A Hall of Fame or anything?
The Hall of Fame, I mean, we've had a couple of new lap records if you want to nip in, because
Okay.
just so that we can show it. Michael Races.
Does it show you a date when that was changed over? Or does it just give you the name?
It might give you the time, the dates on the Google sheet, but I think it's just the name and the track and the time that's hyperlinked over.
So it'd be nice to have the date up there, that way you know what the date's there.
Oh, did say right, cool. So Michael Races last night had the record. He
for
broke
where?
his own record by about 6/10 or 5/10 last night.
That was Paul Ricard.
Paul Ricard. So it was set in a Ferrari, and he's now set. So it was he done a 54. So it's there, the one the
That one there.
23rd of the 8th. Yep.
Yep.
So a 154.654. It was a 154.9 something or 8 odd. So he's beat it by 3/10 last night,
Sweet.
and he's well dialed in BMW M4.
There's another one, the 16th of August that he got.
Mhm.
That was
His name's cropping up everywhere on that thing.
I remember when it used to say Cuddy, 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 Cuddy. And then
That's-
Michael come out of
That,
nowhere and
that's
it's like,
that's been a while, because Keddy's been on PC since just before Christmas,
Yeah.
November, October, November time.
Mhm.
So his name doesn't exist on here anymore, I don't think.
Oh, right, okay.
Yeah, I don't see it anywhere.
Do-do-do-do-do-do-do.
Lock and Load's still there with 1, 2, but the way the guys are going nowadays with the speeds, they might disappear
Mhm.
eventually. Maybe once the 1.8 update comes out, none of them will get moved.
Right.
There's a chance. So that's basically that. We'll have a quick pop over to
The
PC.
PC, have a wee look at things
Uh,
on the PC.
So as we said, obviously 30th of August, the 1st of September and the 2nd of September is
Mhm.
going to be the when the series start.
Mhm. Right.
The rookies are up to 29. We've got 50 in there because if we get 50 drivers, we'll probably do 2 tiers.
Right, okay.
We want to restrict that to between 20 and 25 cars on a track.
Right.
Because at the end of the day, that is new drivers. And as we said, this year it's all AM drivers, there will be no fast drivers. Well, we say there'll be no fast drivers, you know how it is. Sometimes you get a wee AM driver that goes quite quick. But it should work out better this year to be in AM drivers. And the super sprints were up to almost 40, so a couple of weeks to go if you want to register for any of these series. Get your names in. The sim gear you'd have to go down as a reserve, but there is the opportunity. The British face-off in Imola's coming up. registration just got changed. It was supposed to be the Ginetta only, but we opened up to GT3 cars.
Right.
Somebody had the bright idea, let's just open up to GT3 as well. So now there's the chance of 40 GT3 cars coming in. And kill us. Especially in Brands Hatch. Can you imagine trying to get past the GT4 car in Brands Hatch?
Oh, Brands Hatch is that's going to be interesting.
And as I said, we've got another big multi-class coming, which is going to be at Spa.
It's in September.
That's September 18th, yeah. We've chosen Spa this time, and probably we might end up sticking around Spa. Watkins Glen, Indianapolis, Kota, what's that one in Japan? Suzuka?
Suzuka.
We have to be careful because we have found out that there is a limit on how many cars you can put on a track. So we said it was going to be 80 at Silverstone, but the game would only allow
So 60.
60. So we ended up with 60 drivers and about 20 drivers that were rather upset. So we did make our apologies, and I'll apologise live on podcast as well. That was a slight mistake by us because we didn't realise, we thought it was 80 for all tracks.
Listen, we're still in the infancy of this
Yeah.
whole big grid and PC side, believe it or not. We're nailing the PC side,
Yeah,
yes.
we couldn't
Still
figure it
haven't-
out because we had 120 cars available.
Mhm.
So we were paying for a server with 120 cars available,
Right.
and there was only 60 cars allowed on track. So we're paying for half the track that we didn't have. But we have to
That's
we keep
strange
it
one.
we have to keep it high for the multi for the driver swaps anyway.
Right, okay.
But this one we have checked into is 82 people you can have at Spa.
Right.
Second highest track on the game. Only beat by Suzuka. And James has already said there will be no way in hell that we're doing 105 cars at Suzuka.
That would be phenomenal.
So yeah, you can have up to 105 cars at Suzuka.
Way they worked it out the other night on an average lap time round there. If all cars were out on track doing their warm up laps and their quali laps, they'd be less than 8/10ths apart.
Oh yeah, you'd have to do
You
put
need
the
to
cars out.
instance.
Yeah. So
Fit 20 cars at a time.
I had suggested to Keddy, and obviously I left it up to him to make the final decision, but he did like the idea. There is 4 classes going to be available. You're going to have the
quality sessions or something.
you'll have the GT3 car, the GT4 car. You're going to have the Porsche Cup again, and also have the M2 go-kart.
Right.
And that'll
And then
be
they all going to go out and qualify in their own sessions.
yeah. We discussed that as well. I don't know if it's still under discussion. The problem is that if you put a GT3 and a GT4 car out together in one session,
Mhm.
then you're going to have the GT3s catching up to the GT4s quite quickly and harassing them, and it's going to interfere with the rules that we have in qualifying. Oh, same as well if you have a Cup car and an M2 out, the same problem. If you put the GT3 and the Cup car out, there's still a 5-second difference, 4 or 5 second difference.
Aye.
So there's none of the cars close enough, so I think we finished up deciding on 8-minute qualifying for all 4 classes. That way it's still a 30-minute.
So you're still
Qualifying
you're basically getting get straight out and you can get
Yeah.
3 or 4 laps in.
Yeah, short of that we would possibly have to do like a hot stints lap to decide it, but that's a lot of work. So until we get on a bit and
Do a
decide.
qualifying day. Do
Yeah.
a qualifying day and a
Yeah, but
15-20 minute qualifying session for each
This is
day.
still, we're still doing one. It's still a one-off. And we're still kind of testing the format, see what works, what doesn't.
Excellent.
So last me and Keddy had spoken. It was going to be an 8-minute qualifying for all 4 classes.
Right.
And then obviously we got the endurance leagues that are coming up. We'll have a couple of guys in there as well. We got the 6 hours of Kota, the 24 hours of Spa, the 4 hours of Watkins Glen.
Whilst Dale's talking about this,
And the 8 hours
Lodges,
and
have you been thinking about an alien of the week or someone that's jumped out at you at all throughout the week?
To be honest, I haven't raced, and I haven't seen much. So no, not really.
Not this week at all. So what races
No,
have
I
you taken part in?
Taco Tuesday. That was last week.
Last week.
So, yeah. But if it was PC side, well, I would say Neil, but he's already ran it because he's been really good, like really quick lately. Well, of all the races I've raced with him
listen,
in
you
the
can be
Tuesdays,
the first guy that gets a little
Yeah.
flying saucer next to his alien head. If you want to give him, we'll
Yeah.
put a
Who's
flying
this?
saucer next to his alien head.
Neil, he's been like really fast lately.
Who are we talking about?
Would he?
Of the Tuesdays and Thursdays when I've raced,
Yeah, Woody's really
he's-
fast, especially when he
he's
knocks
been
the
like-
competition out.
he's been like overtaking me, and then I'm like, oh, cheers then, Neil, see you again. See you on the next lap when you're lapping me, yeah?
Twat.
Yeah.
Excellent. So
I've
if you want to give it
overtaken
to
you a
Neil
couple of
McCann,
times.
he'll
Yeah.
get a wee flying saucer next to his alien head.
I think it's been quite cool at some of the Tuesday races and the rookie races. You actually had about 4 or 5 of us that all raced against each other on PlayStation in a little cluster.
Right. Okay.
So it's always been quite good. And every time I got Lurchy sitting right behind me, I start panicking. Because I know that on the start of a race is probably the worst time for his PC. Get into the first corner, but he still thinks, or Lurchy still thinks he's on the straight, accelerating right through it. But yeah, it's good fun.
If you're happy to give it to Neil,
Yeah, I'm happy to give it
you're
to
happy
you.
to give it to Neil for PC as a special mention, right? Okay.
Yep.
Well, I'm going to give an alien of the week. There's Elysium saying sorry to me. Elysium, you do not need to apologise.
Yeah, don't worry about it. He's giving you Alien of the Week.
No, you're not getting alien of the week now. You were getting alien of the week, Elysium, but you're not getting it now. You can get it off of your RKM chums. No, so my alien of the week's going to a guy that's Mr. Consistent. He keeps on showing up. His name's getting higher and higher in the league tables. He's sticking with it. Doesn't matter what happens. He's just always finishes every race. And if he's been brought up in a ticket regarding like either a rage quit or a disconnection inquiry, it's always due to the fact that he's maybe either been disconnected. He's never ever left a race, and he's just been so consistent recently. And his name's, he said his first podium as well, like I said earlier on. So my alien of the week for PlayStation is going to Big Time Dave. We don't give Neil a hand
Well done,
clap
Dave.
because Neil's already had alien of the week.
Neil,
so he's just going to
yeah,
fly sauce
Neil,
next
Neil
season.
doesn't. Neil doesn't need a clap. I mean, if his head gets much bigger, he'll not get in the car.
So if his head gets much bigger, two beards, one comms, will just be one beard and a squashed comb.
Michael has said in the chat that everyone wants to join RKM. That's not true. I want to be the odd one out.
Listen, RKM do have a very good base. They've got a really good array of drivers. I wouldn't say no to anybody joining any of the teams. Grassroots has
obviously.
got a good, strong core, and we've lost a couple of drivers. Rob 2K's left us, and I think he's went to. He's not told me who he's went to. I think he's feared to tell me, but he doesn't need to. The teams thing is just a little bit of fun. If you want to drive for another team, go. It's fine. You don't need to panic. You're allowed to change teams. Like I say, I'll always be there with Grassroots. If my team depletes right down to just me sitting in it, then so be it. If everybody wants to leave Grassroots, they can.
Chica wants to leave, by the way.
Chica was that sort of fun at him.
He doesn't want that on his name anymore. He says, "What the hell is that at the end of my name?" I said, "That's because you're in the team with Chris." I hate that. I want it off my name.
I'll take it off his name if he wants it off his name. In fact, I'll replace it with an aubergine.
An aubergine. No, I think it was just the fact that he had no idea what it was and where it came from. I was winding him up.
The Grassroots thing. It says GRRTSM.
Yeah, he hates it. He hates.
Like a genius.
What's his name on the end, and that's it.
Okay, that's fine.
He hates it. He hates being part of your team.
Everybody hates being part of grassroots. It's just falling to bits.
Well, it's a lawnmower team.
Right. So are you going to give us a PC alien of the week to help us tie off the podcast?
Thought we had one.
Well, we've gave Let's Lurches
Oh.
with being the special guest this evening.
Right.
We're allowing a special guest now to give like a driver that stands out for them.
Alright, give me 1 second just to see if this person has one already. If he doesn't, then that'll do.
But in the chat, Dale, you're always welcome. Chris, sorry, we've already got a grass cutter. Oh, mate. Oh, damn. I was looking for that contract as well. That's okay. I don't mind.
Okay.
RPM.
I don't think this guy's had one. I don't see it at the end of his name, so I think that means he's
Even
not.
if he has, he'll just get a wee flying saucer next to his name if it's a second time nominee.
Right. And
People
that's-
can be nominated for like 2, 3 times. I mean, if they're consistent, if they're doing well, might as well recognise them, might as well get their name and up in lights. So
Well, when I mention this guy's name, there's not going to be a lot of people in PC that don't recognise who he is. He's been with us for quite a while.
are you
He's had-
giving this to James?
No,
you can't
he's-
give it to James.
He's had his ups and downs, this guy. He had quite a bit of a down at Zandvoort in the rain in the first corner. But what I like to see is he had his down, he had a wee crash, took out a few people, got a drive-through. So it ruined his race before he got his drive-through, took his drive-through and continued round, which is not something you see a lot of aliens doing.
Right.
So this guy is Chris Vining. You
Ah.
should know who that
yeah.
is. He's up there a lot at the time and he's a really fast driver and he's a good clean driver.
Him and
Um,
Michael Races ended up battling near the end of the race. If you're talking about Zandvoort last week,
Yes.
that was my best race on PC. And if I was to change to dry tyres,
If he'd followed the game plan that I left Keddy and you and Chica to follow.
if I'd have changed to dry tyres instead of staying in wets, I'd have came first place in Am.
I was actually laughing at that because I had been talking to Keddy about what the best way to start the race was and then go to dry tyres after the wets and things.
I
And
changed my
I
mind
left.
with 3 seconds to go
I
and then
left.
hit the drive and just get in time.
I left the chat and went back to the stewards chat because I was only in to say to Keddy to go ahead and change the API over so we had the race thing. And at the end of the race I said, Chica, what happened? You had a hell of a race. He says, I started on dry tyres. And it
I
wasn't
was
working
on
for him.
dries with 10 seconds to go before the race started.
And then you went with wet tyres at the break as well and the minute
I
you
went
came
with
out the-
wets, and then my wets were perfect. So see, when I came into the pits, I thought I'm going to stick with them, and then see what happens. And it was the wrong decision because as soon as I
as
changed
you
to
came out the
wets,
pits.
right back out the pits, and I left the pits, it went to greasy. It went from damp to greasy. And dries would have been perfect. I would have had
would have
about
been.
maybe 4 laps where the tyres would have took their time to warm up. And then that's me. I'd have caught the traction that I needed because I ended up losing 8 or 9 seconds a lap.
Also at that point you could see as you were getting ready to come into the pits, it was damp but there was a dry line starting.
I'll need to remember that one.
So when you see that dry line starting and the sun's out,
It's
you're,
dry.
if you're coming in the
Dry.
pits, you're just going to get dry tyres. And even if you have to suffer through a bit of cold tyres or a wee bit of graining to begin with, that graining will go away and you'll get your speed back again.
I was gutted because I was so gutted. But hey ho, I think I finished 4th or 5th. No, 4th.
Fourth in the AMs, although you were up to fourth in the overall at one point.
I know, if that's what I'm saying, if I'd have stuck, if I'd have went to dries, I would have finished 4th overall. Just to let you know, my agent has drafted me. Here we go. We've got Lamaro messaging me now here. This was coming. My agent has drafted me to RKM. It was great while it lasted. Thanks very much, Lamaro. It was very nice of you to let me know.
So who's his agent? Elysium?
I don't know.
Right.
his agent must be Elysium, aye.
Traction Dave's doing a little bit of agency in the work on the side.
So, our aliens of the week then are
Chris Vining, Neil
well,
Woodward.
Neil Woodward.
Yep.
As yours nomination, Lutches. I'm giving Big Time Dave all day long. He's shown his true form recently. He's brilliant, and then you've gave it to Chris Vining for PC. So that's 2 PCs and 1 PlayStation nomination tonight, and we never had a winner on the lotto either.
Nope.
It rolls over to a whopping £20 for next week. That's more beer tokens. It's more beer tokens. And I think we just need to thank, first of all, everyone for being part of the show. We've had a very, very good viewing capacity tonight. The chat's been alive.
The chat is alive with the sound of music.
Michael Races says, Chris, we can race closely more often if I always choose the wrong tyres. I know you did choose the wrong tyres, and I ended up taking you on the straight. But I knew you were on dries and that wet, so there was
Yeah, there was the top 12 or 13 drivers were all on wet tyres except Kerry. I noticed that when I was watching.
Dave recruited Barry R, then got battered and left.
Yeah.
Oh my god. So, massive thank you to everyone for putting lots and lots and lots and lots of chat at the side of the podcast. And last but not least, a massive, massive thank you to Lurches for coming in,
Thank you for coming, buddy.
Yeah,
giving us your time tonight.
It's good to be on. Not like that.
I mean, that's been an hour and 40 minutes, and it just goes like that. It's like you don't know where the time goes, because all we do is talk a lot of mince.
The first 20 minutes when you're doing your boring stuff, we were asleep. That's where that goes.
That lasted about 90 seconds. Surely you're not asleep by then.
As out cold.
So if you get any parting notes that you would like to give anyone, anything that you would like to say before you go, Lurches? Before we kick you out onto the street and let the dogs on you?
You let the dogs
No,
out.
I don't think so. No. Enjoyed it. It's been good.
You have fun.
Not
So-
said much, but it's been good.
Yeah.
Is
You know, to see
Sometimes
how
it-
it all works.
Sometimes it's hard to get a word in edgeways with Chris.
I know. What about, is there any sort of comms from yourself in the horizon?
Oh, good. I'll do it again if need be. Yeah.
I know PlayStation
definitely
and
going.
PC are always on the lookout for comms, but I'm not sure the position in PC. PC's,
PC.
I think it's...
I think we need. The only place we really need for PC at the moment would be on the com site for longer endurances. Likes of the 24-hour race that's coming up.
Aye.
We're definitely going to need probably a selection of about six comms guys, maybe 8.
Just doing their own wee stint and then
Yeah,
go back,
doing a
the
tour,
drive.
do a wee 2-hour stint, go away, take a break, do your own thing. Maybe if you want to do 4 hours, that way you can get a 4-hour sleep. But it gets difficult after a couple of hours. It gets difficult to keep yourself going.
I love it. It's
If
great.
there's 2 people there or more, it's okay. You've got someone
Aye.
to bounce ideas off of. But
Yeah.
when I'd imagine on the 24-hour race, you've got 24 hours of comms that you're going to want to have going. So I'd imagine it could be a case of
Who's going to
making
run
sure we
who's
got-
going to run the comms for that length of time?
it'll
PC.
be
Whose
James.
PC's getting used?
It'll be James's PC for the comms
James.
with the ACTV, unless Coops is going to be getting himself involved. He might run it off his PC because it's stronger. But last I spoke to him, we need to go through a couple of things on his. It's getting acting up on him. He can't change screens when he's in the game.
So that's exciting times ahead then. We might have Adam's Grace or Lurches, better known as Lurches, doing some comms for us. What's this space?
And we've also got ourselves a nice little stewarding team as well, so that helps.
Mhm.
We've got that worked out some. So that
Can I
helps
can
out.
I just give you a massive commendation, Dale? Your organisation for these longer races is second to none. I know you're part of the
Not me that's
a lot of
organised
other
it.
guys doing it, but see the stewarding side. You organised that last endurance that we did, the 8-hour endurance.
we're trying to work it out to change it a little bit so as we don't have to deal with tickets.
But
Um,
you dealt with it really well. You managed it really well.
I did a lot less this time, ticket wise, because there was enough guys doing tickets at the time that I could focus on doing some comms with James and giving him a break when he needed it.
Hmm.
And then we had a wee drive in between. So it's the first time that I've not actually heavily been involved in the ticket side. It's quite nice.
Well, so we can't call you the hangman anymore.
Oh yeah. Well, at the end of the day, I was still the one putting the penalty points into the game for the most part.
Hangman Dale always delivers. Hangman
Well,
Dale.
I would rather I would get the bad name than the rest of my stewards because it's a hard job to do and it's a thankless job for the guys. It really is because you can get the right call, but there's always going to be someone that doesn't like it. So I'd rather they come after me than come after my guys because that way I can keep the stewarding team that we've got.
You're the guy that's got the thickest skin, I would say.
I've got
In the
that I don't
background.
give a crap attitude.
That's it. Parting notes, we've got Mr. Lock and Load saying, been good seeing Lurches, who knew he was such a looker.
Yeah, right.
Jan Bath, good night everyone. Michael Races, £10 a race, Lurches.
Oh,
£10
Lurch's OnlyFans racing.
Aye, Lurches only fans, that'd be lovely.
Only
Sit naked.
Yeah.
fans.
I don't know if his wife would pay that much for it.
The wife would just lock him in the room and tell him never to come out again.
Yes.
Yeah.
Or the soon-to-be wife, sorry, the soon-to-be wife. We've got
Should
Michael
we say-
Races saying, night chaps.
Get
Good
back
night.
under the stairs.
Aye,
Good night,
get
Michael.
back in your box.
I hope you guys have all enjoyed it.
Yes, good night all. Thanks again for your comments. It's been a fantastic night again, as always. Caskanova's been kind of rife in the chat. Daza Snipes as always.
And I hope you guys all tune in for next week. We've got another special guest next week, which will be my last special guest before I go away on sabbatical.
Dale's going to get a vagina operation,
I
so
am
he needs
indeed.
to leave the comms
I've already-
in capable hands.
I've already picked out the leg of lamb or leg of ham that I want.
Oh god, that is disgusting. Good.
Right, it was a pleasure to see you guys again. Thanks for watching, Chris, and goodbye.